Hello, 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 my friends. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good whatever part of the day is. Who are you? It is Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. And I am very excited and happy, as you can see, to be here with some wonderful friends. I'm hoping I do everything right today because I have like even more screens than normal going on. But I'm super excited to do what we're doing today because we are doing our first live stream of our Dungeons and Dragons Curse of Strahd campaign. Put together by the awesome Doreen. Up above me, you'll see. She'll be our DM and storyteller and creative driving force behind this thing. This is all her idea too, so if you don't like it, you can blame her anyway. So we also have music that she has provided in the, let me turn up the music here. There we go. Nice atmospheric music going on for this Curse of Strahd campaign. I do want to say a couple things before I turn it over and start introducing characters. Normally in my streams, I have a lot of interaction with chat, like to talk and answer every single message. Like from Wooden Playing Games, I know me playing D&D is new. It's a new thing. But what's awesome is these people with me are all DMs in their own right, so they're going to make this a lot of fun and carry my noob, you know, noob bard around, basically. So I will not be interacting as much with chat as I normally would, just to let y'all know. I will probably be typing in chat, and some of the notifications that you would normally see with the little sound bites I do will not be happening. But I will be following chat, and Mr. Shogi, thank you for the host as well, my friend. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce these awesome people because they're the ones who are going to make this a lot of fun. We're going to start off with Mr. Shogi 3000 because a lot of people know him. He hangs out in my chat all the time. He runs his own awesome game, Horizons Unknown After Earth, and he is joining us here, and he is awesome. So thank you, Shogi, for being a part of this, my friend.
Absolutely. Excited.
And next we have over to my right here, this way, Zach, who is an awesome, experienced D&D player. I think you've run a lot of Shadowrun games, is that right?
I'm fairly new to Shadowrun, but I've been doing D&D for a while.
Awesome. So Zach will be playing, let me get the names here. I have them, they'll be on the other screen, but he's playing Conard Andorak, the Shield Dwarf Wizard. Shogi is playing Galen Brightburn, the Dwarf Paladin. And then up in the top right, we got Mr. Jitterbug, who also has been hanging out in our chat a lot. And he is playing Tasso de Radura, a Wild Hunt Shifter Druid. So, thank you for joining us, sir.
I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. And then the shady-looking guy up in the top left is Archon. He's going to be playing the very nervous and very, how do you say, not great in a fight, Ulrich Alenica, human sorcerer. Run. Thank you. Thank you for being probably our comic relief, as you were saying yesterday.
Yeah, it just happened to be that way. Well, thank you very much for having me. It's been awesome.
Awesome. And then last, of course not least, the mind behind all this wonderful thing we're doing is Doreen, who will be our GM and our dungeon master here. So take it away, Doreen.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. So we introduced everyone, their character. We are all level 3 at the moment. I like to have my players tell me what happened last session to give the recap. So whoever wants to volunteer, go ahead and remind me and everyone else who maybe wasn't here what happened.
I guess I'll start. We all kind of got transported in some way that we don't know into a weird, spooky mansion. And especially Ulrich was very scared about these new people he was meeting who'd never seen before, right?
And what else did you encounter in this creepy mansion?
Well, I guess mainly it was a lovely little girl named Rose and her little brother named Thorn, who apparently Shogi and Zach didn't really like very much.
That's not true at all. That's not true.
It's not true?
I'm quite fond of her.
Loved her so much he couldn't keep his axe off of her. Apparently.
I might have accidentally
Accidentally.
removed her good hand.
You just
No, I
dropped
think
your axe. Is all that happened, right?
It's it. Yeah, I was trying to protect Evander, and her hand just got in the way.
Happens.
Okay.
I still maintain she is not what she seems. We did
Right.
nothing wrong.
Honored. Oh, and Ulrich
Hashtag
both-
Rose had it coming.
Yeah. Right. There was some determination that there was some illusion magic attached to these children. The nature and source of was not made clear, but action was taken anyway.
And I would say Tasso and Evander were both a little or a lot horrified by this turn of events.
Put it mildly.
Yeah. So you guys made your way through the mansion with this young girl who you maimed. She passed out. You still made your way up to the 3rd floor now. Yes, you guys are on the 3rd floor balcony where you ran into an animated armor. So I'll bring you guys to that map now. You guys did manage to defeat said armor. And that's where you are at the moment. That's where we left you. So let me go ahead and set the scene right after this battle. So the animated armor is now collapsed, unmoving at basically in the same spot where it was once standing. We have Rose. You can see her little token there. Still passed out. Her severed hand is resting in her lap. You can hear the little pitter patter of the dog that you guys met downstairs on the 2nd floor as he begins to make his way up the stairs to you guys.
Is that your dog?
That is not my dog.
Oh, okay.
But he begins to make his way up, and he kind of pushes his way past, everyone gives the little girl a quick sniff, but he makes his way over to Tasso. And he seems to have this kind of affinity with you, Tasso. He's nudging at your hand, asking for pets. His tail is wagging. He doesn't really understand that you guys just almost died here. So
Yeah, I'll kneel down next to him and
Okay.
just kind of scratch the side of his neck and really just trying to figure out what's happening at this point.
Mhm.
And
So you
I want to
see,
take.
he has a collar, and as you're scratching his neck, you get a quick glimpse of the metal tag on the collar, and it says Prince Charming, and on the back there's more writing. But this is where you guys are at the moment. Before we go any further, the battle just ended. The dog just popped in. I want to kind of touch bases with everyone. Just give me a quick 1-sentence description of what your characters are thinking, feeling, things of that nature. What are their emotional states at this moment?
Connard is feeling wary. He knows it's not natural that we were all brought to this place. He feels like somebody is manipulating this situation. He doesn't appreciate being made to play a part.
Ulrich is in a state of sheer panic and terror. He does not like any of these people. He doesn't trust them. Some of them obviously have shown the capacity to maim small children. He thinks that some of these people may still be the reason that we're here, and he just wants to get away, but these innocent children are complicating that for him.
Tasso's very confused, spending the majority of his life up to this point in and among the forest and the woods. Not sure how he got here, not sure what's happening, never seen a suit of armor, let alone one animated attacking people that he's come and party with. So very confused and apprehensive about everything that's going on.
It's safe to say Galen's probably, it must probably, the going emotion is confusion. He definitely believes that he's in between some kind of reality and a dream, that this still can't be real. But I guess the more time that he's spending with this group, he can see emotionally upon them that at least they think it's real. And at least finding this animated armor gives him a sense that maybe there's some other forces that are going on here.
Evander, for the most part, has thought he was just in another gig that he forgot he was scheduled for. He was just, in some nice people's mansion performing for some kid. But then all of a sudden, there's this armor. Galen lops off the arm of the girl he was entertaining. So he's actually starting to get confused and a little scared because he feels like he is in over his head.
Yeah, and it's worth noting the very first level that you guys came in on was very warm, inviting, brightly lit. As you continued through this mansion, going further up, it's gotten more ill-kept. It's dusty, it's dirty, full of cobwebs. It's colder, especially where you are right now. So you're on this balcony. The staircase is winding its way down. There's two doors to the north and the south. The southern door is actually ajar a little bit, and you can hear once again the crying of a baby. You also hear kind of softly a woman humming, like kind of humming a lullaby. And Tasso, you're close enough to hear this. The humming stops, and you hear, "Oh, by the morning Lord's light, please, Walter, go to sleep." And you think, if anyone's looking towards that direction, you think you see a shadow kind of move within, but that's it. The humming kind of continues, the crying continues, and you can hear, because if you remember, after Rose was really, really hurt by Galen, she prompted her brother Thorn to run. But you people are not nice. They no longer trust you. So he ran away, ran upstairs, just off of pure instinct, you would guess. And you see, kind of like right where the dog is, there's a panel on the wall that's just a little bit open. And you can hear just the real, like, quick running footsteps above you.
Above, like on the third floor.
No, you guys are on the third floor.
Oh,
So
we're on
there's
the
another floor.
Oh, we are on the third floor? Okay.
Mhm.
So there's a panel that's askew?
Yes.
Honored would like to investigate this collapsed suit of armor and see if he can discover anything about where it might have been made, what kind of condition it was in, whether it's like human or dwarven make, or anything he can find out about it, basically.
Okay.
And Tasso is actively poking at the head with his quarterstaff, like just.
Okay. All right. It's not moving other than your actual poking at it. You can tell it is obviously human-made, meant to garb a human. But you can tell it's pretty ornamental in nature. Like, this isn't something that probably someone actually wore to battle. And you can see on the chest the windmill emblem that's been the icon that you have seen throughout this mansion.
Do I recall seeing in the painting that we saw earlier the dog being in that as well?
No.
Okay.
In the 3 or 4 paintings you've seen throughout the house, including the one that's literally right above you guys on this balcony landing, there's no pets of any kind.
Okay. And does everybody else hear the humming? If not, I'm gonna kind of motion for everybody to be quiet and let them know that there's, sound coming from the door behind me.
I would say
Whatever
the people furthest away, especially Ulrich, they probably wouldn't hear it because it is kind of coming deep.
Yeah.
You assume within the room.
So I'll quietly, whisper to everybody, loud enough to hear, but obviously not terribly loud. Hey, there's somebody in this room back here. It might
Right
be
by the
that
door.
nursemaid.
Evander would like to actually, now that this threatening suit of armor is no longer moving, he actually wants to move over to Rose and check on her and see if she's still unconscious or not.
Okay. She is still unconscious, still breathing pretty steady, but she hasn't come to.
Evander, as he's looking, because he had brought her severed arm, so it's kind of like in her lap there. He's still a little horrified. He kind of wants to look around at his companions and be like, does anybody here know anything about medicine or surgery or first aid or anything?
Ulrich flicks away the flask that Galen had tossed to him last time and looks up at him and says, how do you know healing magic? Are you some kind of cleric?
Evander is a little taken aback. He's like, I don't know much about healing, but I feel like we should.
Galen.
Oh, that was Galen. I'm sorry. My bad.
I merely walk over. I hear his question, but more importantly, I'm trying to find out where he flicked my flask.
Just up the stairs, a few steps.
Okay, so I pick it up first, and I look at him, and I just go, I'm a paladin, laddie.
And what kind of paladin chops off the hand of a little girl?
Well, laddie, even you yourself believed she's not what she seems to be.
I sense the illusion magic, but we don't know the source.
You sense illusion magic.
That doesn't
and
mean
I just chopped off her
casting
hand.
it.
Not much of an illusion, is it?
No, there's not. Why did you do that?
I was under the impression that she might have been.
He was acting on my
protecting
warning.
Evandor.
Ulrich looks at Connard. You know magic. Are you some kind of wizard or sorcerer?
Correct. I'm Connor Dandaric, wizard. And I detected that these children were cloaked in some kind of illusion magic. Do not know what they are. They may even believe themselves to be what they appear to be. But I am confident they are not.
And at this point, you can even hear some banging from the level above you, like small hands banging on a door, and you hear, "Please, please, Rose, let me in. Please, I'm scared."
Evander
and you
wants.
recognize this as Thorn's voice.
Thorn. Okay.
From above us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Evander actually wants to look at Galen and say, my friend, I feel like you've made a grave error in wounding this little girl. I think we should try to do something to help her. I don't think her little brother or her nanny, whoever's here, is going to take very kindly to what we've done.
I look at Evander and I just go, maybe you're right, laddie. Maybe it was the wrong decision. But I would like to look at her and her hand, if I can. I don't know what it requires, a medicine check. Do I notice that this hand, this arm, is it decomposing at this point?
You wouldn't even need to roll. It seems fairly fresh. It's only been a few minutes since the altercation, but it's not like rotting or decomposing or anything.
So there's
like
no
that.
discoloration or anything like that that's setting in?
Not just yet. But it doesn't have a steady supply of blood, so
Nice and rare.
you know.
So with all the conversation that's happening out there, do I hear anything different from inside the door where the humming's coming from? Like, have they noticed that we're out here?
No. So you still hear the baby crying. It's loud enough that all you guys would hear that as well. But the humming, like the lullaby, singing, that's still going, and you can almost get a sense of urgency. Like like they're getting really tired and starting to get frustrated as well.
Ulrich looks at Galen. Do you have magic to help her? Can you save her hand?
I don't know if I have that kind of magic, laddie.
I can
Evander's-
prevent the hand from decaying, but I'll need several minutes to work my ritual.
Evander says, I might have a little spell that could reattach it, but I don't know if it'll do anything. I don't know if it'll heal it. I don't know if it'll even work, because I've never tried anything like this before.
There's still a baby in here. We'd have to find that baby and her brother and get out of here and find help.
Maybe this nursemaid knows what's going on.
Maybe she's part of the problem.
Only one way to find out.
You don't find it alarming, gentlemen, that she's in the next room, and we've been out here fighting and talking, and she's never once come out. She's never once said anything.
It's as I've said, nothing in this place is natural. I believe we're acting out parts on behalf of some kind of puppet master. And I don't intend to play along if I don't have to.
So I'm going to. You said the door to the south is ajar, right?
Yep, it's a little bit ajar.
Can I take my staff and just push it a little bit?
Yeah. I will. Brian, you should now see something else in your journal. So I'm just going to bring this out, this token out here.
Okay. Audience.
Yeah. I'll get a more flashy picture as time goes by, but so you open the door, Tasso, and
can I drag this out? Because
juncture-
I'm not able to do anything with it.
Oh wait, hold on. I'll find you on here real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, that's
Evander,
fine.
there you are.
Oh, there it is. Yep, now I see it. Yeah. Awesome. So I can move this around to see what you're talking about. Very cool. Thank you.
Oh, and Dungeon Master, I still have a dancing light up.
Yeah, what's the duration of that? Like
Because
10
I
minutes or something?
failed the concentration check last session. I didn't know if this token was supposed to be here.
Maybe not, but we'll leave it there for now just because I want to be able to see everyone. And I would assume you probably would have recasted it, right?
Yeah, well, I know Conrad had a torch, so I think we were relying on that. It's brighter light anyway.
Yeah.
Is there any light source from this room?
All right. Yeah, so you could see, Tasso, upon opening it, that the room is dark. There's no light in this room. You can still hear the crying of the baby. You do see a door on the, or like maybe like two doors on the far side where the wall is. But that's all that you can really tell at this vantage point.
Okay. I look back at the group. Are we going in here? I can't see anything. Or are we chasing after Thorn? Whatever we do, we need to move. I don't feel comfortable just standing still in this place.
Ulrich looks at Connor. Are you going to cast a ritual to try and retach her hand?
Can't reattach the hand, but I can prevent it from deteriorating until we can find a more permanent solution.
Are you doing that here?
I can. It'll take me several minutes.
Evander wants to watch over this because he's not really trusting this dwarf after he got his friend to lop her arm off anyway. So he's going to kind of watch over that and make sure he doesn't do anything that he thinks is dark or spooky to this arm, this girl.
You're muted.
What is Ulrich gonna do?
Ulrich
You
is
hear the yelling baby from inside this room that Tasso just kind of opened. You can still hear the banging from upstairs, where you assume Thorn is.
Ulrich is going to wait and see what happens with this hand. He doesn't want to leave Rose in this moment.
All right, and Galen?
Galen feels a little bit guilty after now all the aspersions that are being cast upon him. The part of him wants to stay and do what he can to help with Connor's ritual, but he also doesn't want to leave Tasso alone. So he's become extremely protective at this point, so he's going to go with Tasso into the darkness.
Okay, so at this point, so far Connor's the only one that has a torch open or lit. There's no other lights within this level. So
I do have a torch, so I'll go ahead and stash away my shield in order to free up a hand for a torch.
all right, no problem.
And Ulrich's going to cast, even though Connor's here with his torch, he wants his own light source, so he's going to cast dancing lights right above us.
Okay. All right, so I'll go ahead and move Tasso and Galen into the room. Go ahead and move your token accordingly.
I'm
Before I go
barely
in-
stepping in, just enough
Okay.
to kind of peek
Yeah.
around and see.
Okay.
Before I go in, I look back at Evan and just go, "Stay here, laddie. I'll be back.
Evander
Watch over the
just
girl."
distractedly, yeah. Just be careful as he goes back to watching what Connor's
I don't
doing.
really care. It's fine. Just go.
Ulrich's keeping
Alright.
an eye, is watching the dog. What is it doing? Does it follow Tasso?
Following Tasso. Yep.
Okay.
So as you guys, as Galen and Tasso walk in, again the wailing of this baby is just like echoing throughout this room now that you guys have walked in. You can still hear the voice of a young woman trying to calm the child, but you don't see anyone. And as you walk in and kind of get a glimpse of everything, it's completely dark. There are cobwebs everywhere. There is a bed and a dresser on the far side. The fire is completely cold and unlit. You hear
Can we see inside the fire pit? Is there actually wood in there?
there's nothing in there.
Okay.
You do hear, though, the sound of the crying seems to be emanating from behind the door that, at least if you're looking on the map, that's right next to Tasso. And that's where the woman's voice is also coming from.
So inside, like these double doors right here? Is that what that is?
No, the one that's like right next to you.
That one right there.
Okay, and there's a door there. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, their door icons on here are
Yeah.
easy to miss, especially with the way the dynamic lighting is set up. But yeah, there's one right next to you.
Okay.
But you do see the two double doors out over there as well. They are glass paned, stained glass also in that windmill motif, and you can tell that it kind of leads outside.
Outside, like outside?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
a veranda?
we may have a way out. So I'm keeping
Like
my voice low and
Yeah,
Mhm.
like a veranda or a balcony is what you would imagine.
Okay.
okay. And the crying is coming from a different room.
Yes.
Okay.
Coming from the room, like behind the door adjacent to you right now.
Okay.
What do you see, laddie?
I see.
And the little dog kind of comes in next to you, just starts sniffing around. He doesn't seem too perturbed by anything.
Okay. So I explain. I see two doors along the wall. The door next to me is where I think the baby crying is coming from. Other than that, it's too dark.
Okay.
I don't
I try to
think-
just get closer to him to continue to help use the light of the torch to be able to illuminate anything that we can actually see.
Yeah, so Tasso takes a step south and tries to peer out the windows in the glass pane. I don't know if it's any clear panes in the stained glass that I'd actually be able to see outside, or if it's all just, just distorted.
Yeah. Are they
The-
mosaics?
Yeah,
Is
the
that what we're
majority
looking at?
of it is the stained glass. There's a little border around the picture that is completely clear, but it's that really thick old style glass that windows used to be made out of, so it's a little bit distorted and warbled as you look through it. But you can see that it at least leads out into a balcony. It's You don't have a very clear picture or image of what's beyond the balcony though, just because it's dark outside, it's misty, it's still raining. You can tell that.
Are there any paintings or anything on the walls in here?
Nope, nothing in here. You do see like some books on the shelf or the tables next to the bed, and they look like romance cheesy novels. There is the dresser. There's a mirror next to it, a large full-length mirror that's kind of attached to the wall, and it sits in a very ornate frame. It's carved like leaves and like ivy leaves and berries and things like that.
Do I think that
What else are you guys doing in here?
Do I think that the dog would obey commands, or is he just kind of tagging along?
He seems to just be like tagging along.
Okay.
You can always try to give him a command, but you don't know him well enough to know if he's properly been trained.
Yeah. All right. I look back at Galen. Do we want to go through the door? Do we want to let everybody know what we found?
Okay. Just quick question, Doreen. Can we, now that we're in this room, do we hear the sounds of the muffled talk as well as the crying
Yes.
to be actually okay?
Yeah,
Can we
and
make out anything much more clearly than we could previously?
you do again hear the humming. You also again hear this exasperated woman's voice saying, "Oh, Walter, by the morning Lord's light, please just go to sleep." And it's coming from behind that door.
Well, we know this room is secure enough. We know that whoever's behind this door is behind another layer that may not have heard everything that happened in the foyer. What if we go back to the group, figure out what they're doing in their ritual, and then potentially either go upstairs and try to find Thorn, or decide if we want to come back in here as a group?
All right. Well, while y'all decide on that, we'll go back to the group in the landing here. So, Connor, do you want it to do some type of ritual on just Rose's hand, or on Rose herself? What are you thinking?
If Rose is still alive, then it would just be on her hand.
Yeah, she is still alive.
Okay, so as a ritual, I'm going to cast Gentle Repose on the hand.
Okay.
While
So-
Connor
Oh, wow.
is doing that, Ulrich just wants to shift very casually out of his line of sight and under his breath mutter a detect magic spell and start sensing some things.
Okay. What exactly are you hoping to? Are you trying to double check what he's doing?
That's the first thing Ulrich's doing, is double checking the magic that he's casting. And
Okay.
so it confirms, right? Gentle repose.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Then Ulrich wants to move the magic over to Evander, just to check him for anything.
Do you have any magical items on you, Evander? That
Unless his instruments, since he uses them as his, spell focus, would give off anything, there's nothing enchanted on him that he knows of anyway.
Okay. And then next I want to move it over to Rose. And since I know from before with my other detect magic spell that she has some sort of illusion magic, and given my knowledge of this type of magic, I just want to ascertain its nature, like exactly what is it, how is it manifesting on her, where did it come from, any sort of detail I can glean from this.
I don't know if you would be able to glean those type of specific details. I mean, it is surrounding her.
Okay. Does it at least seem that it was external to her, so she is not the source of this?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be coming. Like, it's not like she's projecting it, if that's what you're
Okay.
looking.
Like, so she was like the object of this magic, whatever it was.
Like, she wasn't casting anything on herself or anything around her, but she is like literally cloaked in this illusion magic.
Can I get any sense if it's maybe hiding like her form? Like, is it making her seem smaller than she is or bigger than she is or anything like this?
Yeah, you don't get that sense.
Okay. And I can't really tell like what exactly it's doing. I can't really figure that out in any way.
Not just yet, no. Doesn't.
Okay. Then since I still have it up, I just want to kind of move it in the 30-foot sphere around me, especially towards the door where Tasso and Galen walked in, and just see what I'm feeling over there.
Okay. You're also kind of getting maybe the same sense of illusion magic as well, but it's not really focused. It's just kind of
like it's in the general area, kind of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just gonna hang on to this for the duration and just keep it to myself.
Okay. All right. What's Evander doing?
He's actually kind of fascinated by this ritual that Connard has been performing. Can he notice a change over this severed arm as he does this ritual? Can he tell what's happening?
Well, let's first, Zach, can you have Connard, can you describe this ritual that Connard is doing? What does it look like?
So he takes the severed hands, lays it on the floor in front of him. He removes his bone rod that is his arcane focus and a piece of chalk. And he draws a circle on the floor around the arm. And then he just kind of holds the bone rod out and starts chanting and waving it in circles around the severed arm. And this goes on for about 10 minutes.
And his rod is made of bone, you said?
Bone or ivory.
Evander is fascinated by this because he's never seen, at least he can't remember seeing a ritual like this, especially not one performed by a dwarf before. He always thought it was, old humans or, enchanted elves doing crazy magic like this. So he's actually fascinated and almost mesmerized by this little scene that he's performing.
Okay. All right, so that is going to take about 10 minutes. Galen and Tasso, how long would you say you were in that room checking things out? Like a minute or two?
Yeah, so I think the kind of first little hesitant entry into the area was just a couple, maybe a minute as we understood what was going on. But, while everything else is going on out in the foyer area, Tasso's going to step forward and inspect like the fireplace and the mantle just to see if there's anything out of place, if it seems old, if it seems used recently, just kind of a general idea of what's going on there.
Okay. Well, the fireplace has not been used in a long time, it seems like. It's just covered in dust, and there's old cobwebs as well. You do find on the mantle place, again, some more of those cheesy romance novels, but also some letters, which just taking a quick glimpse at, you can see that they're either to or from a woman named Lavinia Alstrol. That's all that's really up there. Maybe a couple knickknacks, things like that. But there's really nothing of note.
One thing I forgot in a moment, but when Ulrich casts his detect magic spell, the dancing lights he has wink out because they're both concentration. So since there is the torch there, I don't know if it made enough of a difference for anyone to notice that.
They might have noticed it dim a little bit.
Okay.
But I think they're probably so focused on the ritual that's happening, they probably wouldn't care.
Then while they're still focused on Rose, Ulrich's just going to carefully get up, make his way around, still trying to hide that I'm casting detect magic, and go over to the suit of armor and see what I can detect from that.
Okay, at this point, you don't detect anything coming off of it.
Okay. I just want to step towards the door where Tasso and Galen had entered. Oh, I can't move my token for some reason.
Again?
Hmm.
Let me check.
Yeah, while you're working on that, I'm gonna motion to Galen and let him know this fireplace hasn't been used in I don't know how long. If there's people in here, I use the term people lightly. They're not using anything for light or for heat or for anything.
That's
Some
what I
strangers
surmised
going
as
on.
well, laddie. These seem to be relatively unused rooms.
Yeah.
All right. Ulrich, as you make your way over there, are you just trying to get a feel for...
While no one's paying attention, I wanted to extend my magic out to the dog if it's in sight.
Okay.
And just in that room, if there's anything that pings for me.
All right. We don't feel anything weird about the dog.
Okay.
It just seems to be a doofy little dog.
The best kind.
You do first also try to move your token one more time for me, Archon.
Not happening.
What the heck?
Oh,
I
okay.
just reset it. But anyways, we'll deal with that later. So again, the magic, the illusion magic feel that you're getting, it's still kind of, it's not focused and condensed in one thing, but you are getting a more general direction that it's coming from behind the door, where you can now hear the baby crying and this woman humming a lullaby.
And Tasso and Galen are in this room I'm looking into, standing near the fireplace.
Yes. Well, you won't be able to see it see them unless you walk in, but you know that they walked in here.
I would
Fine.
like to try to investigate the... You said there's a cabinet in there, correct? Or is it a wardrobe?
Yeah, so there's a dresser, and then
Okay.
next to it is, like, kind of attached to the wall is that full-length mirror.
Okay, I'd like to take a look at that and just see if, again, is it covered with cobwebs? Is this something that has been used? Is there anything that actually is being stored in any of the cabinets themselves that looks relatively new?
Nothing looks new. That's pretty apparent. But I still do want you to roll an investigation check for me. Okay.
I found the handle.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, all
But
right.
don't know how to use it because, you know.
I think it's a cabinet.
Looks like it's wood, laddie. Sturdy.
Well, I
Moving
see,
on.
contemplating the handle, can I speak in a low voice to Tasso and say, there's illusion magic behind the door where the voices are coming from.
Okay, well, hold on, because I still want to, even though you didn't roll very well, your passive perception is enough to kind of pick up something. So as far as the
Okay.
dresser itself, you kind of open it up, the cobwebs are all over. there is still clothing in there. It does look like a woman's clothing, but they don't seem really new. A lot of them are threadbare and just kind of dingy and moldy.
Okay.
You do pick up, as you're looking through everything, just out of the corner of your eye, and at first you think maybe it's a trick of the torchlight, but you pick out in this carving along the mirror's frame, in between the leaves and the berries, you catch glimpses of eyeballs that are kind of carved into this motif, and they all seem to be staring at you, and it does kind of unnerve you a little bit.
Sure.
Other than that, that's all that you're able to find in this area. And what did Ulrich?
I'd like to turn to Tasso and
Mm-hmm.
just go, lad, come over here and check this out with me. I just want to make sure that my dwarf eyes are seeing what I think they're seeing.
Okay. You want to make an investigation?
Yeah, I still want you to make an investigation roll for me,
Okay.
please.
Oof.
Oh,
That's
nice.
actually a natural 20. I just have a -1 modifier.
Nice.
It's still high enough to obviously perceive these eyeballs, but you also, as you're taking a close look, you see that this panel to this wall is a little bit separate than everything else. And you just kind of reach out and touch it, and it pops open. A secret door pops open.
Oh.
I didn't see that, laddie. I was just merely looking at the eyeballs.
Yeah, so it actually pops open into a stairwell
Oh, wow.
that leads up, and you can see right directly across from where you've just opened this, it leads into the landing, because that door is still slightly ajar.
This was the landing that Thorn was calling from?
Yeah, and you can still hear the banging and him screaming, Rose, please let me in. I'm
So
scared.
it's another way upstairs?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Ulrich's standing at the door watching and says, if it's a way to get the boy, just grab him and come down here. We've got to get out of here.
Did we know that he came into the room?
You did not. There's no footprints or footsteps here. If you want to make a perception or investigation check, if that's what you're really looking for any type of passage of Thorn.
Yeah, just like passage to this area. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you don't see any in the room itself, but you can make out just some faint footprints in the dust at the landing of the staircase in this secret little compartment here.
Okay. Did we know that Archon had slid into the room before he said anything?
I don't know if you noticed me before I said anything, but
I don't think
Okay.
we would, right? If you're
So-
investigation,
Yeah, you guys are
investigating
kind of,
other things.
Yeah,
Alright.
behind that corner. So you wouldn't have seen him, and he didn't really walk in. But you may
Okay.
have heard whatever he whispered into the room about the illusion magic coming from this other room that's attached to this
I'm standing
bedroom.
right at the threshold.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to have Galen and Ulrich, both of you just go ahead and make me a general history check, please.
Okay.
Oops, sorry, 1 second. Do-do-do-do.
Okay, so Ulrich, it sparks, your memory. You know that it's pretty common for nursemaids to live in rooms that are attached to the nursery. So on that note, we'll just pause on that and go back to Connard and his ritual, which I would say is very nearly done at this point, maybe like another minute or two. Rose is still on the staircase, resting, we'll say. Are you two doing anything else out here now that, you maybe have noticed Ulrich is moving?
Evander, he's still fascinated by this ritual, but he kind of wants to move over to Rose and make sure she's comfortable, because he kind of just hurriedly laid her out on the top of the stairs when he initially got here. So
Yeah.
he kind of wants to make sure at least she's not like, hanging over the banister or something.
Okay. No, she's not hanging over the banister. I mean, you did kind of like hurriedly like drop her on the stairs.
Yeah.
So she'll probably wake up if she wakes up with some extra bruises and whatnot.
If
If she wakes up.
If she wakes up, yeah.
Let's see. But obviously it's not the most comfortable place for a sick, possibly dying person to be.
As he's kind of looking over her and checking her stump arm, I know that we cast some heal magic. Can he see if it's still like, if it's like an exposed wound, if it's something he should wrap, or if their magic like sealed it off? Can he see what condition it's in?
I mean, you can definitely still see the open wound. It's no longer gushing blood or anything like that.
Okay.
But it's probably a smart decision to at least wrap it up.
Okay, that is what I want to do then. I want to take probably the best thing I have costumes that I could like cut some cloth off and kind of tie it like a tourniquet around her arm. Now that we have some time.
Do a tourniquet. It's probably not the best option. So you pull out one of your little frilly stage blouses, you rip up part of it, and you just kind of wrap it enough, tie it off so that the wound itself is protected from any type of dirt, dust, or anything else that might get into it and possibly cause some type of infections.
Okay.
Just to keep it clean.
Sure.
Are you going to leave her on the stairs?
I think I'd actually like to at least carry her up to maybe right about here, so she's on at least a flat floor, so she doesn't like roll down the stairs or something like that.
All right, roll down this. Oh my god.
I'm worried about this girl.
Okay. Yeah, that's easily done. I would say by the time you do all of that, the ritual will have been completed. So, Connor, was there anything else that you wanted to do regarding your ritual?
I'll just pick up the hand and stuff it into
yourself a high
a
five.
belt pouch, I guess.
All right. So at this point, what are the people in the bedroom doing?
You're not going to wear the arm as a trophy all around your belt or something?
Give himself a high five.
You said it's apparent to Ulrich that the double doors behind which we hear the singing must be the nursemaid's personal quarters?
So the door, it's not a double door, but yes, that location, that's the one where you hear the nursemaid, you assume the nursemaid, the female humming, singing, pleading with this baby to please be quiet and go to sleep. And the baby just not listening, like not having it, and crying his lungs out.
Okay, I turn to Tasso and say, that's the nurse's room and the baby's in there. If it's really a baby, we have to get it out of this place.
I'm gonna start making my way back toward like the doorway of this room, like toward the vestibule with everybody else that's out there. I agree, but something's going on here. The room that we were just in has a cold fireplace, dirty, dusty, hasn't been used. If somebody's actually living here, they're not living here.
Nothing here is what it seems. This whole room is filled with illusion magic, and the source of it is behind the doors where that nursemaid is.
Well, we know that the child is in there and not being harmed. She's trying to soothe the baby. If we leave them in here for now and make our way up to find Thorn, who's fleeing and running through this house, I think that may be a more pressing issue.
All right.
So I'm going to make my way back into the other area. I can't move myself in. And can I try to motion for the dog to follow? Like, kind of snap my fingers? See if
Yeah,
he'll come.
absolutely.
Sorry, not to go back to the light situation, but did someone say they pulled out a torch other than
I have a torch.
Connor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Galen
Yeah,
does.
Galen has
Okay.
a torch.
Okay.
Yep.
That's why his token. So when you guys say you're doing your torches and stuff like that, I make it so that your token itself will illuminate from you.
Oh, okay.
So you should be able to see that. So always make sure to let me know that.
Okay.
Otherwise, y'all will just be sitting here in the dark.
Yeah.
And having no fun.
I look over to Galen as I'm making my way toward the door, and I say, do you agree? Should we find the young boy?
I'd agree with you, laddie, but I think if Ulrich is saying the things that he's saying, we should at least knock on the door. Ask him if they're all right. Seems the right thing to do, don't you think?
They don't sound to be in any danger, but I always say trust your gut, trust your instinct. It's kept me alive this long.
Mhm. And what is Connor and Evander doing while you guys are back there on the balcony? You see all your new friends kind of joining up in this bedroom.
Honored going to walk over to Rose. He's gonna close his eyes, and then he's gonna try to lift her up. He's just trying to see if she weighs about as much as he'd expect her to weigh.
Okay.
Ulrich's watching. What are you doing?
Testing something.
And I want to get Evander's attention and point over at Connard.
Evander's right there. He's watching. He's a little confused, but just kind of watching.
Yeah, so she feels about what you imagine a little human girl would weigh.
Okay.
It doesn't really strike you as strange.
I poke my head out the door and let them know that there's a bed in here, and maybe she'd be more comfortable laying in a bed.
Evander wants to ask Connard, you're pretty handy with that body necromancy magic. Do you think we could reattach this thing? I have a little spell that can reattach things. Would it work with an arm?
If we're gonna do that, can we do it outside?
If it's the spell I'm thinking of, I don't think it'll work in this case. But without magic, we can just try to reattach the hand.
Evander's. Oh, go ahead.
I will say, based off of what Connard has said about the spell, the ritual that he casts, you know that the hand is probably going to be okay for a little while. So if you guys wanted to, like they were mentioning, go find Thorn or get the heck out of this house before you try to figure out a way to reattach this young girl's hand to her arm, you can definitely do that. Or you can take some time, bring her into the bedroom, get her a little bit comfortable, and attempt and see what happens. Because it's not something you've ever done before, you would need a lot of help. So you might want to talk to your friends about that.
Okay.
But it's up to you guys.
And when Ulrich was detecting Connard's spell, he knows exactly what it is and what it can do.
I wouldn't say you would know what it would do, just
Maybe
because it's something a little bit outside of your focus. But what you were getting off of it, what you were feeling, it does align with what he said he was doing and what the outcomes of the spell would do.
Okay.
So you're getting a certain feel of that magic, and it seemed to be true to his word.
Evander does feel like probably the best thing would actually be to at least put Rose in this bed in this other room if she's going to be more comfortable than just lying in a floor in a foyer. So he actually does want to kind of take Rose from Connard and move into this room to put her in the bed that they were just talking about.
Is the bed near the door at all that goes to the nursemaid's room?
No.
Okay.
Is there any just a quick look? Is there any wood or anything, any kindling that is in the fire that we could actually start a fire to at least keep her warm in a very, very cold room that we're going to be sticking her in?
There's nothing in this room. I mean, unless you want to take your big old battle axe to this dresser. There's no wood next to the fire. There's nothing. It's pretty barren in here outside of the bed, the dresser, the mirror, the two tables next to it, and these random romance bodice ripper novels that are out here.
How many romance novels are there?
Probably about 14. She's
14?
an avid reader, you would guess. Yeah, about 14.
There's some
That would
kindling
make
for you right
good
there.
Kindling.
Yeah.
Danielle Steele.
Before taking because I was thinking of taking the battle axe to the cabinet. Hearing Tassel's words about trusting his gut, I'm going to walk over to the door,
Mm-hmm.
and if anything, I'm just going to take my battle axe and not hack at it, just knock on it, and just go, "Lady, can you hear us?"
Okay, so you kind of make this little with your.
A bit of a rapping.
Oh. Okay. The crying doesn't stop. The voice of the young woman does. And you can maybe feel this whoosh of cold air from behind. And you see this ghostly form of this young woman appear behind you.
Like between me
She
and...
came from the door, or she was just in the room itself.
She came from behind here, from the corner, and she rushes up to you and says, No, please don't disturb the baby. Let baby Walter sleep, please.
It's a spirit!
Do I say
Yeah.
this too, or is it just Galen?
It's apparent to everyone in this room. And you see this kind
And
of
Prince
a
Charming?
Yes, Prince Charming is
Okay.
still here. You see this tall female figure. She has long hair. At this point, you can't really get there's no coloration to her. She's just this pale blue-gray. You can even see the wall and the table behind her. You can tell that at one point, when she was probably living, she was a rather beautiful woman. But her hair is now loose and unkempt, and it falls past her shoulders. And she just reaches out and pleads, please let the child sleep.
Doreen, can you move the audience token into that room?
Sure.
'Cause I can't move it.
Can Ulrich
Thank you.
fully step in there so I can see what's going on too?
Yep.
Thank you.
Just move the dog to the bed.
I'll move down so you guys can get some room there. Okay. Who's in the room with me? Is it just us three?
Yeah, Galen, Tasso, and now Ulrich.
Okay. Immediately, without looking at them, I just go, "Lads, do you see what I'm seeing?"
I take a defensive posture and say, I think so.
Yes, I do. And I just want to move my detect magic spell, which I assume still has a few more minutes, and see if this is an illusion. If I'm getting a reading like that, like is this some sort of magic that's causing the apparition?
You don't detect any magic coming from this ghost.
I think this is a real ghost.
What is Connor and Evander doing? And also, Ulrich, was that out loud in character?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say Evander definitely would have heard him
Well, yeah, Evander was wanting to carry Rose into this room because he thought there was a bed he could lie her in. So, kind of with Rose in his arms, he wants to walk in and like immediately stop. Although I can't walk into this room for some reason.
Oh, it's because of the dynamic
Okay.
lighting.
As soon as I walk in, I want to stop and go, "What is that?" Staring at this apparition. He's never seen anything like this.
So we still hear the baby crying from the other room, but the voice is no longer in that room.
Correct.
Okay.
Would we know exactly what we're looking at or dealing with?
Guys, you have definitely heard of ghosts, and ghost stories and things like that.
Spirits and such. Okay.
Yeah, that's something that is pretty familiar to everyone. Even if you've never encountered one in real life, you've at least heard the stories that people tell. Maybe you've never believed it until this moment. But as Ulrich checked, it's not an illusion or any type of other magic. It just seems to be the spirit of a young woman.
And I would like to say, lady, are you bound to this house? Have you not moved on?
She looks a little confused for a moment and she brings her hands kind of up to her face. She says, I know something happened to me. Something terrible. And she again looks past you guys towards the door behind now Ulrich. Just don't disturb baby Walter. I've been hired to care for him. The Dursts have been mostly good to me.
What was the name that you
Durst.
said?
Durst.
Gee. The Dursts. My lady. Are they the ones who own this establishment?
Yes, Mr. and Mr. Durst. They live here with their children.
Evander wants to bring Rose forward, who he still has in his arms. Is this Rose Durst? Is she one of their children?
Yes, that is Rose. What happened to her?
She fell.
Down the stairs. She's a bit clumsy.
Evander gives Galen a look. We're trying to help her. You know of any way we can help her? She's hurt.
I that's well beyond my capabilities, but I need to get to the baby. And you see her begin to move, make her way towards the door.
May I ask your name?
She pauses a moment, and you can see her almost kind of like searching for memories and a response to that. And she replies, Lavinia, that's my name.
So did Tasso and Galen lie in character to Lavinia?
I did, yeah.
On the stairs.
I did.
And as she moves closer to us, I actually take a step like toward the fireplace just to kind of create space.
If she's coming towards the door, Ulrich's scrambling to get away.
All right, which is it going to go?
Wherever there's space, I guess next to Tasso.
Okay. Yeah, she just immediately goes through the door. The door doesn't even open.
And she's going to baby. I turn to Tasso and say, did she say she's going to the baby? Isn't the baby behind the other door?
Yeah. Yes.
Just real quick, did Connard want to come into this room too?
Yes.
Okay. And once again, you hear the baby crying, but it finally falls silent.
Okay, so
For the
what
first
do we know
time
so
in
far?
minutes,
We know We know real Rose. We know real Thorn. We know Ghost Nanny. I assume real baby. We need to go save that baby.
Walter?
And so I make my way toward the door. And as I walk by, I look at Evander and point to the bed. Say, lay her down. I think there's a fight.
And Evander is going to move Rose over to the bed and lie her on the bed. Make her as comfortable as he can with this cold bed.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, wait, there's no suits of armor in this room, right? Just checking.
No, there's no.
Asking for a friend.
All right, and you said Tasso was going to the door.
Yeah, I'm going to step toward the door and I'm going to try to do a heroic kick the door in move.
Before he does, I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder and just go, be careful, laddie. We don't know what's behind that door.
One way to find out.
Okay, I still want you to roll an athletics check for me.
Oh, it's going to be great. All right.
Good
Oh,
roll.
not too bad. Not too bad. So you just kind of square your shoulders, you stand tall, and you bring your leg up. And does he shout anything while he does this?
It would just be more like a grunt, like it's just a.
And the door just swings open and bangs against the wall behind it. It opens up into I'll at least bring this over.
Okay.
It opens up into a small little nursery. And again, it's dark, dusty, full of cobwebs, with the motion of the door kicking open and bringing in this big whoosh of air. It's now just dust all over the place. It has all been kicked up. But you see a crib with kind of like this little lacy shroud kind of covering over this tall crib, and in it you can kind of see the motions of like a swaddled baby, and like swaddled in a blanket, kind of moving and kicking.
All right. So can I use Thorn Whip on the crib and pull the crib toward me if I actually connect?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Indiana Jones this thing, huh?
That's right. So that's what I'm going to try to do.
Okay. I'm not even going to roll anything on my end. We will say it does definitely connect to one of the legs of the crib, and it yanks over to you. And with that quick little motion, you can see the bundle of the baby actually falls flat.
Oh,
there's now nothing.
Shit.
Nothing, you said?
Nothing. The blanket is still in there. And as it's gotten closer to you, you can see that it's very moth-eaten and very, very worn. Probably not something you would really ever put a baby in.
Okay. I turn to the rest of the group, tell them what I see, and I go, we need to get the hell out of here.
We have to go!
And you can still hear Thorn up above banging on this door. And Connard, Tasso, well, maybe not Tasso, but Connard and Ulrich, go ahead, give me a perception check, please.
Is there anything else of note in this room that I may have seen as this is going on?
Nope, there's
Okay.
really nothing else in there.
Evander wants to ask, was Lavinia in there?
Yeah, did I see the ghost?
Nope, she wasn't in there.
I was too busy focused on the crib.
So both Connard and Ulrich, you're able to make out, as you're hearing this banging and Thorn pleading for Rose to let him in, just a quick second after his bang, you hear the clank of metal on wood.
From upstairs?
From upstairs, yes.
Why would he be
Metal.
looking for Rose if he ran away from Rose?
Because he knows that this isn't the real Rose in the room with us.
Someone go up there, I just heard a suit of armor.
Evander's like, I saw what the last one did. I'm not going up there.
Do we all hear that?
You can all hear the banging and Thorn pleading
Mm-hmm.
to be let in, but only Ulrich and Connor were able to make out the sound of this metal.
So the door that leads into the room that we're currently in, did that swing into the room or into the foyer?
Into the room.
Into the room, okay. I'm going to step out into the foyer area to get out of this room.
Which is away from the door that leads upstairs where Thorn is. Because the secret passage leads up to Thorn.
So is there another set of
I know,
stairs?
right?
There's another set of stairs in the foyer that lead up, and then we found that secret set of stairs in this room that leads up as well, correct?
Yeah, so there's so these two doors are literally right in front of each other. So the two secret doors, you know what, let me see if I can just
So while you're doing that, I'm going to talk to the group as Tasso. Okay. Crazy stuff going on, right? There's double doors, glass that leads outside. Do we just cut our losses and go?
We have to see if that kid's okay. We don't know. He could be a real child.
Yeah.
Evander looks at the glass and like, we're on the 3rd floor. We can't jump out from up here anyway.
Not with that attitude, you can't.
I'm a
Evander's
dwarf,
like,
laddie.
I'm a gymnast, but I don't think I'd survive a.
I've fallen out of taller trees. We'll be fine.
A dwarf roll down, laddie. We'll be fine.
Whatever brought us here, my impression would be it's not done with us. I'd rather deal with it and be done with it than having to be looking over my shoulder, waiting to find out what else it has planned for us.
I just want to go. Is someone going upstairs for that boy?
I'll go upstairs with you.
I tell him about the secret passage that we found because he wasn't in the room when we found that.
Right.
Other dwarf, there's a set of stairs over here.
I'm not going alone with him. Someone else coming up?
And I'm gonna cast a pair of spells on myself.
Okay, what are you casting?
Protection from good and evil and see invisibility. Okay. If they're going up there, Evander would actually like to give them bardic inspiration here. So at least maybe he can do something to say, good luck. We don't know what's up there.
That's okay.
That's my inspiration. Good luck.
Ulrich is back up against the wall looking at everyone like, insanity.
So is Ulrich going to go up as well?
If Connard starts walking, he is going to keep like 5 to 10 feet behind him.
Okay. So I'm going to actually pull you guys into the next map here. So it's just Connard. Ulrich is 5 feet behind, correct?
Yes, and would like to stealth if I could.
I look at the other two in the group. What are we doing?
Ulrich's thinking to himself, oh my god, again?
Evander's like, I don't want to leave Rose here. I mean, there's Ghost enchanted suit of armor. I don't want to just leave her here in this room.
I look to Evander and just go, cover her ears, laddie.
Of her ears, confusedly does it.
And then I'm going to start hacking away at that crib to create kindling.
While the baby's swaddling is still inside?
There's nothing there,
Alright.
laddie. And she's not here either.
Oh.
And then I look to Ulrich as he goes up and I just go, I think you might need a shot of this, laddie. You're all over the place right now.
He just goes. He goes up the stairs.
Doesn't even take the sip.
No.
Okay.
He runs from it.
All right. Okay, so as Connor makes his way up the steps,
It's so
obviously the sound of Thorn's voice gets closer and closer. You can hear the banging, and you can make out the banging of this metal kind of clanging against the wall, and you're able to pinpoint it. It's the sound of a lock hitting a door that's been moving. As you come up again, at this point, it opens up into this really dark, dusty, very, very cold. You can almost even see the breath coming from you at this moment. You are able to see, and Connor, feel free to move your token as you want, but it brings you up into this this landing of the attic level, basically. And there is one door right now that's kind of northeast of you. Yep, that's it. You can easily pinpoint that this door, compared to the quick glance around, there's two other doors to the east of you, one leading into a room to the north and to the south, and then there's further back, there's further south, there's another door. But this door that you're now standing in front of, that is the one that is locked with a padlock. Also, you can just make a perception check for me, please.
Can Ulrich get on the map also?
I don't know why you can't move
I think
your
you.
Archon. It's driving me nuts, though.
That's my thing.
Okay, so you're able to see, Connor, the footsteps of a small child, you assume Thorn, and they all kind of stop here in front of this door, but you don't see Thorn anywhere.
Like footsteps in the dust?
Yes.
Okay. And we just have Connor's torch.
Right, and at this point, the people in the downstairs bedroom, you also notice that Rose has disappeared.
What? I had my Evander had his hands over her ears. Did she just disappear between his hands?
Yes.
Okay,
And what was one
Evander, what'd you do?
gone?
He's gonna like back up with his hands, like I didn't do anything. Where?
Did you turn her invisible?
I can't cast a spell like that. You're muted, Shogi. You're muted.
Am I hacking away at that crib while you're having this conversation?
I would imagine so, yes.
I'm just like lumberjacking away while I hear insanity from Evander.
Yeah, Evander is just gonna shout out, Galen, she's gone. Rose, she's gone.
Do we hear this if we're still making our way up the stairs?
You wouldn't be able to really. Well, how loud is he shouting this, Evan?
Just loud enough for Galen to hear him in the next room, not like at the top of his lungs or anything.
Yeah. So you might hear some commotion down there, but it might pique your interest, but you're not able to really figure out what's going on down there.
I
Okay.
suggest we get with the rest of the group.
I guess I would rush back in to hear that, and I'm just like, she passed on, laddie. She was so young.
Passed on. Bodies
He's a
don't
Jedi.
disappear when you die.
Talking about disappearing.
Look at the bed. Evander's like pointing, like at the outline of where her body was.
You'll see the outline of her body in the blankets.
The impression that's there? Okay.
Yeah.
I saw it
I
happen.
looked at Evander, just go, you had one job, laddie. One job.
What would
If it-
Connor like to do?
So, do we still hear Walter or sorry, Thorn
No,
calling out for Rose?
no, it's utterly silent.
I start making my way toward the steps to meet upstairs.
Going to try the door and see. Well, I guess I could see whether that padlock is actually closed.
Yeah, it's still closed and locked.
Okay.
Is there a light
I'll
source
just
up
put
here?
my
Ulrich, where are you? Do you want to be right in landing or closer to Connard?
So currently, am I on the landing?
Yes.
Okay. And sorry, what? And again, I just see him standing in front of a door, and there's nothing else here.
Right. There's nothing else in here. It's pretty empty, pretty bare.
No suits of armor.
No suits of armor. No.
PTSD.
I wanted, if it makes a difference, I wanted to stealth coming up here, but I don't know if that matters.
No, it wouldn't.
Okay. All right.
You can try to be sneaky, but it's
Okay.
Any point?
I'm just going to kind of stay near the stairs, watching, ready to run as Connor tries at the door.
okay. And Tasso, did you want to come into this landing?
Yeah, so I was just gonna start making my way up to find the other two to let them know what happened, and I
Okay.
motioned for
Okay, here.
Galen and Evandor to follow, but I don't know if they have or not. So
Well, with the disappearing body, Evander is freaking out, and he actually wants to go find Connard, since he like cast some spell. He's like wondering maybe he did something, so he's gonna kind of like run towards that secret passage to go upstairs as well. Like not being quiet or anything. He's freaking out, so he's running.
Okay.
And that's where it's all like Doreen.
Is
and,
Galen gonna
fast.
follow?
A quick question. Now that we've seen her disappear, I would like to make a quick look around the room. Where's Prince Charming?
He's still down here for now, but he's kind of edging closer to the door because that's where he smells Tasso is.
Okay, so he has not disappeared.
No, he has not disappeared.
Okay, then immediately I take a swig. And I just, because Evander has run up, I follow behind.
Okay. So just because I want you all in the same room, I'm going to pull you all in here. I'll move Ulrich back to here so you can be close to the
Escape route.
stairs. Yeah. All right. And what was Connor doing with this lock?
Nothing.
This over.
If he sees that it's locked, he's not going to try it.
Okay.
Has anyone else?
And as everyone else makes their way in here, all these doors are closed, and this is the only one that has a padlock on it.
And do the other people tell us upstairs what happened?
Oh yeah, Evander's coming up like yelling, "She's gone! Rose is gone! What did you do? What did you do, Connard? What did you do?"
What? I look at Connor. What do you, back at Evander? What do you mean she's gone?
She disappeared right between my hands and before my eyes. She just vanished.
It must have been some really high level illusion magic. We just have to get out of here. Go, go.
Evander actually wants to run up to Connard and be like, "Is her arm still in your pouch? What happened?"
I'll look into my pouch and see if her arm is still in there.
It's not.
Nope, it disappeared. I think she was an illusion all along. Probably both of them.
We have to get out of here. We'll come downstairs. You have weapons. Break down the door. We just have to get out.
Something brought us here for a reason, and I don't think it's just going to let us leave. Or if we do leave, I don't think it's not going to come after us or bring us back.
Why do you want us to be here so badly? Do you have something to do with it?
I don't want to be here, but when I leave, I want to make sure I'm not coming back either.
I'm not staying in here. Who's leaving?
Evander's kind of with Connor because he seems to be the most level-headed person, so he's like, you're the only one I've seen do magic that can do anything, so I'm with you. I'll follow you.
Galen's made his way up to the landing, and he's merely just taken a drink. And kind of
Anyone
puts it away.
able?
He puts it away and just goes, unfortunately, Ulrich, we've been brought here against our own wishes. I don't think they're just going to let us walk out. Do you?
We don't know what they want. We don't know who they are. We don't know if those people could be someone standing in this room. I don't trust any of you. No, I'm not going anywhere. And I start backing down the stairs.
Okay.
Now that Rose has disappeared, laddie, how do you feel?
I feel like I just want to get away from you and from this place. And
Where does Ulrich want to go?
I look at Tasso because Tasso's the one character that Ulrich thinks is probably one of the most sensible ones, and says to him, and what do you want to do? Are you staying or are you trying to get out of here? Welcome back.
Thanks.
We're all
I want to
freaking
get
out.
out of here, just like everybody else wants to get out of here, but I'm not leaving the group either.
They want to stay and do what? Walk around this mansion until you find what? Play into the hands of whoever brought us here?
I mean, we're at a point now where we don't have children to worry about. I think we just worry about ourselves staying safe and getting out of here by whatever means necessary.
They don't want to leave. They want to stay in here and do what exactly? What do you want to do in here?
Do you think you will fare better on your own or with the group? This is one time where you have to make a decision that's better for yourself. And yes, getting out of here is best for all. But if we can't get out of this place individually, we need to stick together.
None of us is saying, laddie, that we don't want to leave. We're merely saying that
Something
I
brought
don't
us here, and something
think
could
they're going
bring us
to
back
let
here.
us leave.
How hard did we try to get out? I used my own magic when you weren't looking, and it didn't work very well, but you have an axe and a hammer. There's glass. Just break something open.
Is there any glass windows that are on this floor?
Someone said there was a glass.
No.
On the floor below us, there was a glass double door that led out to like a landing.
Okay, then after hear him saying that, I'm gonna walk back down, and I'm gonna try to smash the window.
Okay. You make your way down the window. Also, you could have tried to just open the balcony doors as you went in and smashed it. They
I'm a
actually
dwarf.
also
We don't do well with handles or anything like that.
All the way.
they did also like fly open as well, and they're banging in the wind and the rain, and all that you see out on this balcony is just a sheer wall of gray mist. You can't even see beyond it.
There's nothing, just a wall of mist that goes as high as we can see, as far as we can see to either side.
And you can see it even starting to, just in the few seconds you're out there, it's starting to creep in towards you.
Close the door. I don't know if
I look to Ulrich and I just go, here's your way out, laddie.
I'm assuming my detect magic spell's probably expired by now.
Yeah, by now it's expired.
I want to cast it again and focus on the mist and see what I can tell.
Okay. we'll say that just you guys are now out here. You get a very ominous feeling from it, and now it's literally right in front of you guys. You're seeing it move and push in on you.
Backing up.
Backing up. Each of you make a con save for me.
So everyone came down to watch the busting of the doors and sees the mist.
Evander did not.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Or Connor.
So just me and Galen, the one person I want to be with. All right.
All right, so Galen, you were quite unprepared. You
Okay.
didn't know what to expect from this mist. Ulrich already kind of had a sense of it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very oppressive, and you can feel it even sapping away your energy. So you are going to suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay.
Be sure to mark that on your sheet.
Is that the blue? Or just in general?
Yeah. On your token, it's going to be the blue, but you
Gotcha.
can also move it on your sheet as well. There's a section there for your exhaustion level.
Okay.
Does Ulrich see this happen in some way? Does Galen act in a way that indicates this?
It's not like some tendrils are wrapping around him or anything like that.
Damn it, I want tentacles.
Not in this game, but you would just mark that there too. You would see maybe him waver a little bit. Would Galen continue to stay out here?
No.
You know, considering
Galen
how he's-
immediately dwarf rolls backwards.
Okay.
And sorry, you said I didn't really pick up much from the mist. It just seems very horrifying.
Yeah, and you're getting this sense of being trapped. But as far as magic itself, you're not getting a real pinpoint on that either. But
Okay.
you are getting
And is the mist
dangerous.
and it's currently creeping into the house proper now?
Yeah, now that you guys have opened up this door and broken this window, it's creeping in.
I start looking around. We have to plug up the hole. We can't let it come in here. Is there any furniture to move? Like, how bad are the doors?
Oh, the doors are completely fucked. And the glass window pane is shattered.
And is there...
It was very well crafted. I mean, someone put a lot of time into that, and then Galen just came through and quickly destroyed it. But as far as blocking anything, the only thing is there's that dresser, but it's only like waist high.
It's only so high, yeah.
And this is a double doors, so there's nothing in here.
Okay.
Maybe think if you can prop the bed all the way up, maybe that might help. But
is this in its own room? Is there another door that we could close and lock to contain this area?
Yeah, so let me bring you back into this bedroom. So you remember that there's the door leading out to the landing. There's that secret door leading into the secret staircase. So if you keep both of those closed, you would imagine that it wouldn't get too far.
Okay, Ulrich does that. He runs over, boom, boom, like just shutting the doors.
All right, are you staying in the room, or are you going into the secret staircase or the landing? Where's Ulrich going?
Which door is he closing first? For
Uh,
Ulrich? The main one that would take you back out to the hall?
I guess the other one I was standing closest to.
Okay. As he does that, I just get up. As he closes it, and I just grab him.
Ah!
And I pull him back up that secret stairwell, trying to close that panel behind us.
Hey, you holding on to Ulrich?
Yeah.
Okay. Just trying to get off of me now! I'm screaming at the top of my lungs.
It's up to him if he'll allow me to do it.
All right, Galen, make a strength check. Yeah, and then you as well, Archon.
Well, I'm gonna fail this one.
And are you saying anything while you're trying to grab him?
the moment I see him grab it, and I get the idea that this mist obviously is affected me in such a way that it's probably best just to move it and get up with the rest of the group. So the moment I see him close that main
Okay.
door, I just grab him immediately right after that.
Is closing that one door enough to contain it now?
You don't know. You would hope.
Okay. Do I? And so I'm doing a pose roll here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not wanting him to bring you back into that staircase to join the rest of the party, you would have to do an opposed roll.
Okay. Strength.
Yeah.
All right. Oh.
Wow.
I guess
And
it
his-
slips out, and I just go, "You're on your
Yeah.
own, laddie," and I run up.
Oh, Oric actually doesn't want to be touched, but he's running straight back up to where the group was.
Okay. And you're closing that secret door securely behind you, I would imagine?
Yes, any door that leads to the mist is being shut as I make my way up. And I come up the stairways screaming, "The mist is coming into the mansion! We closed the doors! Screaming, freaking out.
Avenger's like, what mist? What are you talking about?
There's mist outside. There's
Just
nothing.
outside.
There's no trees. There's no sky. It touched him. It made him sick. This is insane."
And on that note, it's a good time for a little break.
Good time for a Xanax.
So what, Ryan, you said the 10-minute break usually?
Yeah, 5-10 minutes. If we want to take a break, what I'll do is I'll go to a little break screen and turn off all the audio, and so we can chat if we need to. Everybody go AFK and take a restroom break and get food or whatever they want to do. Sounds good to me.
Will do.
All right, sounds good. Be
All
back
right.
in 10.
Cool, yeah. So in about 10 minutes, we'll be back. So thank you all for watching, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Y'all rock.